Hey, Carmen, are you there? Oh my gosh, how long has it been since you and I last talked? It has to have at least been a whole year now, right? Isn't that so crazy? I guess that must have been when I stole your super smart, super rich boyfriend John from you, huh? Man, to think that you were so close to living an easy life and not having to worry about money or working or anything like that ever again. But you must have been pretty shocked when you realized that you were betrayed by him for me, huh? I mean, what was the bigger shock, having your husband leave you for another woman, or that the woman was your own sister? That must have been like a double whammy for you. Don't worry, I know all about how you probably feel about it, but just because I understand doesn't mean I'm going to be giving back John to you anytime soon. Are you seriously texting me at 3 a.m. just to send me this crap? Can you at least wait until the normal hours of the day before you start trying to brag about how amazing your life is to me, Lisa? Well, you were already up anyways, right? I actually just happened to get up to use the bathroom, if you must know. But if you're still trying to lord something over me from a year ago, I've moved on and don't care about you or John anymore. What is that supposed to mean, huh? It means that I'm going to bed, because it's 3 a.m, Lisa. Hold on a second, we weren't through here. I still have more that I want to say to you. Well, I'm already putting my phone down, so... I really can't believe that you're such a sore loser that you would rather pretend to go to sleep than listen to what I have to say. You must be so scared of having to face the truth. That's why you act like this, huh? You really think I bought that my messages didn't get you wide awake or that you're already over losing John? I know that your heart is still just so full of love for him. You probably spent the rest of the night just crying into your pillow, didn't you? All because you can't handle the fact that you were beaten by your little sister who is living a much better life than you now. You think you can fool me with some half-hearted message about being over the past? There's no way that I'd ever buy that. But now that I have you at a decent time of day, I just wanted to let you know that you are never going to get John back from me. You're going to be single and poor for the rest of your life, and there's nothing that you can do about it ever. Got it? Hey, why aren't you responding to me at all? I see that you've already opened up these messages. Well, as long as I have you here, I also just wanted to let you know that I saw you going into your tiny shack of an apartment building. To think that you used to be a housewife to someone who was rich and successful, and now you live in a messed up little place like that. I've always wondered what it's like to have to live in a place like that. Care to share any of your thoughts with me on the matter? Right, well, I guess whether or not my apartment is really all that bad is more in the eye of the beholder, if you ask me. I mean, I pay over $3,000 in rent a month, so I think it's pretty nice, but I guess others might not see it that way. Hold on a second. You pay over $3,000 a month for that place? Is that supposed to be some kind of joke? Or did you just tell me the wrong number? You're telling me that it's a 3 followed by 3 zeros, and you pay even more than that? I know that you live in one of the worst parts of town, and you expect me to believe that not only do you pay that much in rent, but you think that it's not a bad place? It has nothing to do with the eye of the beholder or anything. You just have a terrible apartment and are lying to me about it. So you mean that it's really been a whole year since you and John ran off together and you still haven't figured it out? Figured what out? What are you talking about, huh? Just what kind of game are you trying to play here? You mean you really have no idea at all about what's been happening to John's dad's company? Quit talking in circles and just tell me what you're going on about. I am not going to play some little guessing game with you. Got it? I'll try and make this quick for you then. When you and John got together last year, I really was shocked and didn't know how to react at all. But that's when I noticed the mistake that you made. The only mistake that I could exploit to my advantage. Do you have any idea what I could be talking about at all, Lisa? No, I don't, because you sound like a crazy person rambling about nothing. I know that you're just mad and jealous of the fact that I'm living the good life with John, and no creepy or threatening thing you say is going to scare me or change that fact. Well, okay then. I suppose I won't bother finishing my thought then, but just don't say that I didn't warn you. You didn't warn me about anything at all. You're just acting as if I'm supposed to know some big obvious fact that you're refusing to tell me. You really know how to get under my skin, do you know that? I get that you're still mad because I stole your husband, but that's no reason for you to still be so upset. I mean, just take it as proof that I'm the better sister between us and leave it at that. Just face it, I'm full of beauty and brains and everything you're not. You're certainly full of something, at least on that we can agree. What did you just say to me? Just what is that supposed to mean, huh? Why are you always such an awful jerk? I really don't have time nor the energy to get into this with you. But I've given you more than a fair warning. If you really don't know what's going on under your own roof, though, well, that's not my problem in the slightest. Yeah, I'm so scared of whatever fake story you've come up with to try and scare me, you liar. You really think that I'm going to listen to what some poor lonely old hag has to say to me? I bet you're just mad from living in your tiny little apartment squandering your lonely life away, and this was the only thing you could think of to relieve some stress. But I'm not going to fall for it. I'm better than you and above this petty nonsense. And by the way, John and I are about to leave for a trip overseas, so what do you think about that? We've been taking these trips every couple of months since him and I got married. This could have been your life if you were good enough to keep your man. In fact, this time, it's only been 1 month since our last big trip abroad, so you can go ahead and be jealous of us while we go do some globetrotting. Right, well, that sounds like none of my business, but I suppose I just hope that you can enjoy it while you can. That's what I thought, loser. I knew that you'd have nothing to say to that. Carmen, are you there? Do you have any idea about this? Just what is going on here? I know you know, so give me some answers now. Oh, Lisa, so lovely to hear from you. Did you and John make it back from your trip okay? I hope that you enjoyed your little vacation. Welcome home. What do you mean, welcome home? That's exactly what I'm messaging you about. There isn't any home for us to go back to. I'm sorry, Lisa, but I'm sure that I have no idea what you're talking about in the slightest. What do you mean there's no home? I mean that we got back from our trip and then we were going to go to John's parents' house where we've been living. But when we got there, there was a construction crew there and they were in the process of tearing the house down. Oh, that. Right. I had almost forgotten all about that, to be perfectly honest. You mean that you know about this? Is this what you mean in those messages you were sending me last month? Is this what you were trying to warn me about? No more games. I want answers right now. Well, if it's answers you want, I wouldn't waste your time talking to me. You should go and talk to John's parents instead. I'm sure they would love to fill you in. What is that supposed to mean? Do they know about this? Is that what you're trying to tell me? You mean you haven't even tried reaching out to them at all about this? You might have talked to some of your neighbors there about what's going on, but I'm sure they probably don't have too much more to say to you than they moved. But it's because they don't know what's really going on. Why don't you try calling your in-laws and asking them just where they're living now? I don't know what game you're trying to pull, but I just want you to know that the jig is up and you aren't going to scare me anymore. John called his dad and asked where he and his mom were right now. They told us that they had actually moved and that if we were going to see them, we would have to brace ourselves. But that can only mean one thing to me. It must mean that they moved to an even bigger and better house and they want to surprise us. I bet it's going to be huge, like 3 stories with a pool, maybe even a statue garden. Oh man, it's going to be like living in a palace, I bet. I can't wait to see their new place so I can rub it in your face. What the heck is going on here? Please tell me this is some kind of sick joke or something. Just what even is this place? Ugh, what is it? What do you want this time? Why can't you just experience something and keep your thoughts to yourself, huh? I mean, I don't understand. We went to the address that John's parents gave us and it just took us to the crappy old apartment that you live in. This doesn't make any sense at all. Oh, is that where you're at right now? Well, I guess I should have guessed that that was what was going on. What are you talking about? You mean you knew this was going to happen? What else aren't you telling me? I have a right to know. I already told you I'm the wrong person to ask if you want answers. If you really want to know what's going on, you need to ask your in-laws. But why? Why can't you just tell me what's happening? Why are you trying to play these games with me? I just don't really see why I should have to explain anything to you at all after what you did to me. If you want answers, you're going to have to go out and find them yourself. I have got a really, really bad feeling about this. I know I'm not going to like whatever comes next. Oh wow, it's already morning. I had no idea that time was even passing. I was just spacing out for so long. After hearing about how John's father was kicked out of his position as CEO and John lost his role in upper management, I don't think I've moved a single inch since they've told me. So I take it that means you finally worked up the courage to ask your parents about what was going on? Did John and his father come clean to you about getting caught embezzling from the company? That's why the board of directors decided that the next CEO would have to be someone from outside the family. I know, they told me about all of that already. I was so shocked that I've been sitting in place for hours now. I only noticed it was morning because the sun began to shine in my eyes and it finally snapped me out of my trance. And when I came to, we were still in this tiny little apartment. Well, you better get used to it. That is going to be your life from now on. The two of them were sued by the company and made to return all the money that they had stolen. Then they were fired. So they really were fired then? It's not just a suspension or a demotion or something like that? That's right. In fact, I had a feeling that John was doing this even when we were married. It was actually one of the reasons I was so keen to leave him when I did. I know that he and his dad were lining their pockets with the company's money even if I didn't have any proof. I confronted John one day and he ended up spilling everything to me. But it wasn't long after that I found out you two were seeing each other. So I figured I would just rescue myself from the problem and walk away. You have got to be kidding me. How could you just let me walk straight into this situation? I didn't think that you'd be stupid enough not to realize what was happening. But you were, and you tried rubbing your marriage to him in my face. So then that's why we were living in this tiny little apartment? Are you telling me that you're really paying more than $3,000 a month for this place? Sorry, but you seem to be mistaken again there, Lisa. What are you talking about? What more could you possibly have to tell me? I'm not sure just how much more of this I can take, Carmen. That apartment actually belongs to a friend of mine who helped me out after John and I got divorced. But that isn't the $300 apartment that I'm talking about. The place I live and pay rent for is in another town, if you must know. Wait, so then this isn't your address? But I thought that you were living in this apartment. I know that's what you thought, but you came up with that all on your own and never bothered to check with me if it was really true. But I thought that you were just a housewife. How can you afford that price for an even nice place, even though you weren't even working before? I was never ever a housewife, even when John and I were married, Lisa. What do you mean by that? What did you do then? I thought you just laze around the house and would clean from time to time or make John dinner. Well, you're wrong about that. I was working. It was just that I had a job that I could do from home. I was selling real estate from home and actually managed to make a pretty decent salary for myself. You're kidding me. I had no idea that that's what you were doing. Why didn't I know about that? But if I can be honest with you, I only pay a third of the rent for the place I'm at now. The rest of the money comes from Mom and Dad. But why would they be paying for your apartment? That doesn't make any sense. Well, that's because they're here living with me in this very apartment, of course. Wait, what? They're living with you in your apartment right now? You mean you really didn't know about this at all? Then again, Mom and Dad do always tell me how they do their best to avoid talking to you ever since you stole your own sister's husband from her. So I guess it makes sense that they wouldn't tell you about their move out to live with me. But Dad even talked to his company and asked for a transfer out here so that he and Mom could come and be with me. I don't know what to say to that. I mean, I really had no idea that any of that had happened at all. You mean that Dad really never mentioned any of this to you at all? Well, he might have said one thing, but I didn't know that you were all going to live together in some really nice place. I thought that you had just convinced Mom and Dad to take your side and that you were going to live with them to mooch off of them. And have you heard it all from Dad since he talked about people moving? I haven't at all. That's probably because both Mom and Dad have blocked you on everything and never want to talk to you again. But I thought that they were just having money problems and couldn't afford to pay for their phones. I can't believe they would do that to me after already being so mean about my marriage. You mean your marriage to my ex-husband who you stole from me? Did you really think that Mom or Dad were ever going to go for that? I mean, you know how much Dad talks about the importance of making your own way through the world. He was so disappointed in you when he found out that you had just stolen my husband all because you heard he was rich. But now you and John's family can all work hard to afford that tiny little place together. Don't worry, the rent is quite cheap. It's 10 times less than what I'm paying. How did it all come to this? I just don't understand. This isn't fair. I ended up showing my parents the final conversation that I had with Lisa, and they just shook their heads. I feel like a part of them is holding out hope in their hearts that Lisa's going to have some sense knocked into her, but I just don't have time to hold out for that anymore. We all wonder about what went wrong with Lisa and how she ended up the way she did. My parents think that they might have spoiled her too much as the younger sister. She never worked a day in her life and could basically get anything she asked for. But now I guess she'll have to learn to take care of her own and others now that her and John's family will all be looking for work soon. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hi, sister. It's been 3 years, right? I went to our old house and some complete strangers were living there. That means that you've moved, right? Could you tell me where the three of you are right now? You still live with mom and dad, don't you? Because knowing you, you're still single. Huh? Is this Flavia? You've got some nerve just asking me something like that after all these years. Huh? I get the feeling that you're not happy to see me for some reason. Of course I'm not happy to see you. What in the world made you think that I would be happy to see you? What? Why? I mean, I am your sister, after all. I know we had some disagreements in the past, but isn't family always supposed to be there for each other? Not when that family is you. I mean, it's only been 3 years since you stole my fiancé Leonardo from me. You haven't contacted me ever since the two of you just disappeared. What makes you think that you can just greet me like an old friend? But I'm already broken up with Leonardo, so none of that matters anymore, doesn't it? Come on, Rosina. The past is the past. Huh? You broke up with him, but I remember how you told me that he was the perfect guy for you and you've been waiting for someone like him all your life. Yeah, I only felt like that while he was still your boyfriend or fiancé or whatever. I mean, I realized soon after that I ran away with him that there was a limit to relationships like that. Running away means that you have to throw away everything from your past life, right? Which means that Leonardo had to quit his job at the mega company he used to work at. It was such a shame because he did actually earn quite a lot of money, which is one of the main reasons I stole him from you in the first place. I realized that after running away, Leonardo was just some unemployed man. I should have thought of it sooner. We found it difficult to find jobs in the new town we moved to, and once we did find a job, it was at a tiny company that only gave us an average salary. The two of us didn't have any money, and for obvious reasons, we found it difficult to return to our hometown. That went on for about a year, and by then the love between us was just gone, and we were kind of just living together because we had to. That in turn went on until the 3rd year, but I finally decided to break up with him recently, and now I'm free. I see. And so you thought you could just return to our house? Don't you think that's a bit too convenient for you? Just because you broke up with him doesn't change the fact that you stole him from me 3 years ago, you know. What? That's called holding a grudge, Rosina. I mean, I'm sure Mom and Dad at least will be happy to see that their daughter has returned after 3 years. But they said that they didn't want a child that would steal her sister's fiancé from her. They don't want to have anything to do with you more than I do. Huh? That's so mean of them, but I'm their cute little daughter. Nothing about you is cute, Flavia. And besides, you're the one who was mean to me by stealing my fiancé, Flavia. You said that you went to our old house, but one of the reasons that we moved was so that we could officially cut ties with you and so you would never be able to find us again. Jesus, Rosina, I already apologized for stealing Leonardo from you, didn't I? It couldn't have been helped, since at the time I really did love him, you know? Come on, just tell me your new address so we can live together as sisters again. Don't you think that would be fun? I already told you we moved so that you wouldn't be able to find us anymore. We don't want to have anything to do with you. There's no way I'm telling you our new address because living with you again would be the opposite of what I consider fun. If that's the case, then why am I able to text you like this? If you guys really did cut ties with me, then shouldn't you have blocked my account and changed your phone number? Yep, you're right. The only reason I hadn't blocked you until now is because we hadn't officially told you yet that we were cutting ties with you. But I guess I already did that, so I'm going to block you now. Thanks for reminding me. A what? I was waiting for this day to come, you know. Now we can officially cut ties with you. Goodbye. Hold on. I haven't even gotten to my main point yet. There's something really important I want to ask you. Bye. Sister, I changed my WhatsApp ID so I could be able to contact you, and there's something I need to tell you. What? Is this Flavia? Yep. Seriously, Rosina, you're so mean blocking your cute little sister like that. But there were so many questions I wanted to ask you after that. I already told you that we cut ties with you, right? I don't care about whatever it is you want to tell me. Are you sure about that? It doesn't matter whether you changed your WhatsApp ID or not. The fact that we cut ties with you hasn't changed. I'm going to block you again. Hold on, I wouldn't do that if I were you, because I know where you live now. What? How did you? Wow, I'm impressed, Rosina. You're living in such a nice location. As your apology for blocking me, you're going to let me live in that penthouse of yours from now on. What in the world are you talking about? To be honest, it's going to be a real bother if you really did find out where I live, but I'm not going to let you live here. Why not? Because I'm not the owner of this apartment. My boyfriend is. You're so clueless as usual, Rosina. What I'm trying to tell you is, I stole your boyfriend again, so I'm going to be living with him in that high-rise condo of yours from now on. You seriously don't get that? What? Oh, that reminds me. Leonardo wants to get back together with you, apparently. I give you Leonardo in return for your current boyfriend, so why don't we just get along as sisters from now on? That's a fair trade, don't you think? This solves everything. I'm so glad everything turned out well in the end. There is no way I'm getting back together with Leonardo. Even if he did appear before me for some reason, then I'm going to hand him straight to his parents who paid the alimony I asked of him for him. Oh my God, you're such a scary woman, Rosina. But he really did regret leaving you in the first place and sincerely wanted to get back together with you. He told me to tell you that he was sorry for what he did. No, thanks. I'm not willing to give someone like that a second chance. Our marriage being canceled was his fault as much as it was yours. Besides, my current boyfriend is someone who knows everything about my past and still accepted me despite that. There's no way he would betray me and go out with you, the source of all my problems, instead. Is that so? Then that must mean that I'm so attractive he wants me for his girlfriend instead, despite knowing everything about our past. I'm sorry for stealing your boyfriend again, Rosina. Don't get mad, all right? I'm such an evil woman. But my boyfriend is currently sitting next to me. Huh? He says that he doesn't know anyone like you. He's neither met you or exchanged contact information with you ever before, he says. How did you have a relationship with him then? What? Rosina, stop lying because it's so obvious that you are. Your face is enough of a joke as it is, so just stop it. All right, then how do you know that I'm lying? I mean, I'm with your boyfriend right now, so I know that he isn't sitting next to you, as you say. Are you sure that's not someone else? Someone you thought was my boyfriend and stole from me? No way. All right, then tell me his name if you're so sure. What? Are you an idiot, Rosina? He's your boyfriend. Why do you need me to say his name for you? You're the one who's going to call me an idiot when you haven't even noticed that we're not going to get anywhere until you tell me his name? I'm trying to make sure that you have the wrong person here. You're the only one who thinks that's happening, so don't worry. Just tell me his name already. Based on your answer, I might leave this high-rise condo by tomorrow. What? You'll leave if I tell you his name? Only if he's really the person I'm currently living with. You see? His name is Julian. Julian? All right, I told you his name. So time to make good on your part of the deal. Hurry up and leave that high-rise condo, all right? Rosina, what happened to you upholding your part of the deal? You said that you would leave if I told you your boyfriend's name, right? I have no idea what you would gain from that, but it's none of my business, I guess. I mean, I get it. Living in a high-rise condo like that must be extremely luxurious, so you don't want to leave, right? But you're my older sister, right? Don't you think it would set a bad example for me if you broke your promises like this? Mom and Dad would be disappointed in you if they saw you like this. But I am upholding my part of the deal. I said I would leave if the name of the person you were going out with was really my boyfriend, right? What? Are you an idiot? Shut up! Stop talking and just leave that high-rise condo already. I'm going to live in the penthouse on the highest floor with Julian from now on. I've already prepared to move, but you won't move out, so I can't move in yet. But my boyfriend's name isn't Julian, so I'm not going to leave. Huh? What even is that? You know, you should really stop trying to buy yourself time and just leave already. Do you seriously think I'd believe that? I mean, it's obvious that you came up with that lie right now. Fine, I'll ask you one more question. This high-rise condo you're telling me to move out of, where is it? Huh? You're asking me one of those stupid questions again. Seriously, are you just trying to annoy me or something? You really don't know when to give up, don't you? You're talking about our tower near our station, right? And the room you want to move into is room 5001 on the top floor? I couldn't bother to talk with you any longer, so I gave you the answers, but is this the room that you've been wanting to move into? Huh? What are you even trying to do? I mean, you're the one who's living there with Julian, so of course you know where it is. And I already know that as well because I went around asking everyone for your new address, even asking friends of yours. I gave it my all to find out where you live, so there's no way I'm mistaken. I see. So that's how you found out? By using distant relationships? Impressive, right? I even went to the high-rise condo myself once and entered by mingling among the people who live there. Oh, it was so luxurious. On top of being able to live in a place like that, you're living with Julian, who's rich and handsome, right? That's so unfair. I was always prettier than you, but for some reason, people always treated you better, even Mom and Dad. I'm not going to let you cheat me again, though. Give me that life of yours. I understand now. You must have received old information, which is why you've made this mistake. What do you mean I've made a mistake? You see, we sold room 5001 half a year ago. What? You sold it? It's true that he was the owner of that room before that, but he had to move to the countryside since now he's relocated at work. Thankfully, a branch office of the company I work at was also located there, and we've been going out on the basis of eventually getting married, so I decided to move there with him. There was a used room in a high-rise condo in this new town we were going to move into, so we sold room 5001 of our tower and bought this one instead. We've been living together ever since. Then who's Julian? I'm pretty sure he's the new owner of room 5001. Oh, I see. To be honest, I'm not surprised he wasn't actually your boyfriend, but I guess this is fine as well. It doesn't change the fact that he's still my boyfriend, and a rich and handsome one at that. I'll need to come up with another plan of kicking out his current girlfriend he's living with in room 5001, but it can't be helped, I guess. But I heard that his girlfriend was the owner of room 5001. What? Which means that he's the one who's going to be kicked out of that high-rise condo, not his girlfriend. By the way, I heard that the company Julian used to work at went bankrupt, and he's currently unemployed and looking for a job. He's unemployed? Are you being serious right now? Are you sure this isn't one of your lies again? Don't worry, you'll find out the truth for yourself soon enough. Huh? What's going to happen soon enough? You see, Julian's girlfriend, well, his fiancée to be exact, runs her own company. She's acquainted with my boyfriend through work, and I've met her myself before. To be honest, you're an embarrassment to our family, and I don't want to have anything to do with you. But I told Julian's fiancé about the relationship you two have been having behind her back. What? Hold on, you can't just do something like that. I hope you understand that this was the best course of action for me to put a stop to your selfish actions. Have you forgotten that you still haven't paid me that alimony I asked of you when you stole Leonardo from me? I'm not just going to let you go without paying it now that I've caught you. Huh? By the way, it looks like Julian's fiancé snuck a GPS on Julian 2 days earlier. Apparently you two are currently in your apartment making love since last night? What? She says that she's already surrounded you and you can't escape? What do you mean she's surrounded me? Just who is this fiancé of Julian's? It doesn't matter who she is to you anymore. I'll just say that you better get ready for what's about to come. After this, Julian's fiancé barged into Flavia's apartment. Apparently, Julian's parents were also with her, and the place where Julian cheated on his fiancée turned into the stage of a huge scolding festival that went on until the sun rose on the next day. By the way, my parents had already moved to an apartment for elderly people, and they told me to make my sister take full responsibility for the situation. It seems that during all of this, Rosina tried running away to Leonardo, my former fiancé whom she stole from me. But it seems that Julian's fiancé had expected even this and was able to capture her almost immediately. I also told Leonardo's parents about what happened, and about how Leonardo no longer had a place to live after this incident. Anyways, my sister was recaptured and she was thrown into some office by Julian's fiancé, who had an extensive network of connections. It seems that she's forced to use almost all of her salary to pay off the alimony she needs to pay Julian's fiancé, and is on the verge of collapse, having to live a life of extreme poverty.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hi, sister. Thanks for getting divorced with Giorgio for me. I'm glad you realized that I was just the better woman for him and stepped aside. Rosella, you've got some nerve contacting me like this. What? But I just came to tell you that we turned in the marriage papers to the city hall. We're husband and wife now. And what makes you think I wanted to know that? I mean, this is a happiness that couldn't have been achieved without your help, so I thought I would share it with you. Oops, sorry. I forgot that you lost your own happiness because of it. Oh, I'm so insensitive. Forgive me. I was just so happy myself that I forgot to think about what you felt. As an apology, I promise to find long-lasting happiness with Giorgio, so forgive me, all right? Do whatever you want. I don't care. I don't need a cheating man who's so easily seduced by someone like you anyways. I know that you went after Giorgio because he works at a large trading company and has a large salary as well, but I pity you and all other women like you who can only find love by stealing other people's boyfriends. Huh? What even is that? Aren't you being a bit too mean? It's not my fault that the two of us were meant for each other. The fact that you got so angry at what I said means that you are at least a little self-conscious about it, aren't you? Shut up! You're just jealous of me because guys don't find you attractive, but they find me attractive. I don't want to be told something like that by someone who's only interested in hand-me-downs from other women. Seriously, have you ever even thought about it like that? What did you just say to me? It's not my fault if guys find me more attractive than other women. And it's not like I steal their boyfriends. It's more that they come to me voluntarily. Right. Well, I guess you're right in at least one thing. Every boyfriend you stole until now was a cheating piece of scum. To be honest, I actually think you're doing a favor to all those girls whose boyfriends you stole by taking their trash boyfriend away from them. Anyways, I need to unpack my stuff now since I moved. I don't have the time to talk with an idiot like you, so bye. Huh? What's your deal even? Why are you acting all arrogant towards me like that? You're just the woman Giorgio threw away. I swear I'll become so happy with him that you'll start crying when you see us next. Hi, sister. You received the invitation to me and Giorgio's wedding, right? Hurry up and reply to it, will you? Oh, I guess I don't even need to tell you this, but make sure you reply saying that you'll come, okay? You see, I'm going to make you give us a wedding gift of a huge amount of money. I got the wedding invitation through our parents' house, but why do I need to come to your wedding? Besides, all of our relatives and even your friends from our hometown know already that you stole my fiancé from me. You're still going to have a wedding ceremony despite that? I'm impressed. Just where exactly did you throw away your sense of shame? Or did you seriously just think that they wouldn't think anything of how you just stole my fiancé like that? And none of that matters as long as the two of us love each other. They'll have no choice but to accept our wedding when they see how happy the two of us are with each other. Is that so? Oh, that reminds me. I told you this earlier, but you're the loser of this fight, so I'm going to make you give me a wedding gift of a huge amount of money. I'm going to make you give me 30,000 euros to be exact. Huh? What fight? The fight over Giorgio, of course. Once you see how madly in love the two of us are with each other, you'll just give up and give us the 30,000 euros. Who knows? You might be able to forget about all of this and move on. I'm not coming to your wedding. Seriously, what made you think that I'd want to come, Rosella? You were always like this, never caring about how other people felt and always just assuming that the world revolved around you. What? But are you sure you don't want to come? If you don't, you're never going to move on from this, and you're going to regret not coming. I have no regrets over a man like Giorgio. On the other hand, I actually pity you, Rosella. To think that you're about to marry an idiot like him. What? Just because you're mad that I stole him from you doesn't mean you can insult him like that. You're such a mean person, Sophia. If that's what you think, then isn't it better that you just don't invite me to your wedding? After all, I am just a mean person that's not going to celebrate it anyways. What are you talking about? There's no point in having a wedding if you're not going to be there, idiot. We're going to be hosting this wedding ceremony specifically to crown the satisfaction I received by stealing Giorgio from you. There's no point if you're not there to see it, right? Huh? So this wedding ceremony is going to crown your idiocracy then? All right, then I think I'll plan a little something of my own too. Oh, so that means you're going to come to the wedding, right? Please show me your best pitiful loser face at the wedding, okay? We'll give you a seat at the front row at the wedding reception. Look forward to it, all right? Hey, Sophia. The day is finally here, isn't it? Today is me and Giorgio's wedding. Finally, I've been waiting for this day so long. I hope you brought the 30,000 euro wedding gift as promised. Oh, and just like I told you, you're going to be sitting in the front row at our wedding reception. I thought that if I didn't do that, then you would probably just try and hide in the back, but I'm not going to let my own sister do that at my wedding. All right, I'm going to be changing into my wedding dress for Giorgio now, so see you later. Try not to throw a tantrum when you see the two of us exchange vows, all right? Sophia, what do you mean you aren't at the wedding venue? Canceling without a notice is considered impolite, you know. And it's not just you even. Why is 90% of the people I invited not here? But they said that they would come. Even mom and dad aren't here. Our aunt and uncle and our cousins as well, and none of them came. Hold on. Is this your doing, Sophia? Did you tell all of them to reply to my wedding invitation saying that they'd come but not actually come to the wedding or something? You were supposed to give me a wedding gift of 30,000 euros, right? And to think I was planning on using the money I received from everyone's wedding gifts to pay for the wedding. I need your 30,000 euros especially. Jesus. It's fine if you don't come to the wedding anymore. Just deposit the 30,000 euros to my bank account. Sister, sorry, but I actually need you to give me 50,000 euros now. I'm adding 20,000 euros as an alimony for ruining our wedding, which was supposed to be the start of our happiness. Speaking of alimonies... Oh, Sophia, finally you replied. So, like I already said, I need you to deposit 50,000 euros to my bank account. I'm not going to be giving you any money, Rosella. On the other hand, though, when are you going to pay the alimony that you owe me? What? What in the world are you talking about? Did you forget that I asked both you and Giorgio for an alimony of 30,000 euros? You see, Giorgio told me to wait until you two had your wedding, but that's today, isn't it? Can I take that to mean that you're going to pay the alimony as soon as possible? What? But I don't know anything about that. Oh, so you didn't hear anything from Giorgio? No, he didn't tell me anything about an alimony. Besides, why do we even have to pay you an alimony in the first place? I mean, Giorgio is your ex-fiance, right? And since now the two of us are married, he's also your brother-in-law. You're seriously going to be so evil and heartless as to make a family member pay you an alimony? You're a sick person, Sophia. You've got some nerve calling me sick after you just stole my fiancé and are now asking me to give you 50,000 euros as a wedding gift. It doesn't matter whether it's my sister or not. I can legally ask an alimony from you two for Giorgio cheating on me to be with you instead. Huh? But I already told you that it's not my fault that the two of us were meant for each other. What is so wrong about wanting to be with your soulmate? Your soulmate, huh? Well, I guess you've lasted longer with Giorgio than any other boyfriend of yours until now. It's still only been a few months, though, so we'll see. Hold on, don't tell me. But did you think that you would somehow be able to get away without having to pay an alimony if it's your sister's fiancé you stole? Did you think that you were so lucky he was my fiancé or something? I mean, you're my sister. And you're Giorgio's ex-fiancé as well. I thought that alimonies didn't work when the person you were asking one for was your family. Just where did you get that information? Seriously, you know you could have just looked it up on the internet or something, right? It doesn't matter who it is. If they cheated on me, of course I'm going to make them pay me an alimony. This is your apology for betraying me, and the thing that will crown my revenge towards you. What do you mean, crown your revenge? But me and Giorgio were supposed to find happiness. You're going to be so mean as to ruin that for us? Yes. Sorry, but I'm no saint that's going to just forgive you two for what you did, Rosella. Besides, who doesn't want 30,000 euros? And seriously, you're the one who's going to call me mean? Didn't you just try hosting a wedding ceremony as a way to crown your superiority over me, but ended up failing miserably? I got off topic, though. Just tell me, when are you going to pay me the alimony? Don't ask me. I didn't hear anything about this. Fine, then ask Giorgio when he's going to pay the alimony. You go and ask him yourself. Yeah, but it's going to be such a hassle for me. You're with him right now, aren't you? Just go to where he is right now and explain the situation to him. But Giorgio said that there was somewhere he needed to go first, and I haven't seen him since arriving at the wedding venue. I'll ask him when I get home. Sophia, could you just forget about the alimony we owe you? You see, about the 30,000 euros I was supposed to pay you for your alimony, I used it to pay for the wedding expenses. What? I told you about how almost none of the people I invited to the wedding actually came, right? And how because of that, I didn't get as much money as wedding gifts that I had expected. I was counting on that money to pay for the wedding, but it didn't come, so I started looking for some money when I found an envelope with 30,000 euros in cash in Giorgio's bag. I thought to myself, oh, so he already had the money to pay for the wedding prepared then. And so I gave that money to the staff at the wedding venue, and... So you gave his money to the hosters of the wedding venue without even asking Giorgio first what it was, huh? That was supposed to be the money he would use to pay for the alimony I was asking from him, I suppose. Yeah, He got mad at me because he said he was intending on handing over that money to our parents' house on the way home from our wedding. But the wedding expenses were 30,000 euros as well, and I didn't know about the alimony, so it was only natural to think it was the money for the wedding, right? I mean, anyone would have done the same thing in my position. Actually, I think that most people wouldn't just take 30,000 euros from their partner's bag and just hand it over to someone else without their permission first. Because judging by what you just told me, you just looked around in Giorgio's bag and took his stuff without asking him, right? But he's my husband. His money is my money as well now, right? Well, not exactly. Based on what I heard from another person, it seems that Giorgio sold some of the more expensive plastic models in his collection to get that money. But even that still wasn't enough, so he borrowed money from some of his friends as well to get that 30,000 euros. What? But I thought that he was rich. He works at a large trading company, doesn't he? Well, apparently, I guess not. He was always careless with his money, now that I think about it. By the way, apparently he believed you when you told him that you would take care of the wedding expenses on your own. But the truth was that you were just relying on the 30,000 euros I was going to give you, right? But I didn't hear anything about this prior. How should I have known? So did you talk to Giorgio about what you were going to do about the 30,000 euros you owe me? You guys are married, so it's probably not going to be a case of theft, but I heard that Giorgio got all giddy about his marriage with you and made a huge mistake during work, getting fired for it last month, right? Isn't that why he didn't have the money to pay off the alimony immediately? It seems like you're in a pretty difficult situation right now. Giorgio is currently unemployed and looking for a new job, while you don't even have the slightest intention to look for a job yourself. Yet you have to pay me 30,000 euros by, well, today. You don't need to remind me. I already know that I'm in a difficult situation. I think we might even get divorced soon. What is his problem even? I mean, he's the one who works at a large trading company, not me. Shouldn't he have just paid for both the wedding and the alimony like it was nothing? I'm not interested in your marital affairs, Rosella. Complain to him about that, not me. The fact that you still owe me 30,000 euros hasn't changed. What? You're still going to make us pay 30,000 euros when all of this other shit is happening to me? Of course. It's none of my business what's currently happening to you. But I don't have any money. Like I said, that's none of my business. You'll just have to get it somehow. You're being so mean, Sophia. I thought you were my sister. We were only ever sisters by blood, Rosella. I remember ever since you entered elementary school, you would always tease me for being ugly, and that continued all the way to, well, now. Besides, it's your fault for hosting a wedding ceremony even though you don't have any money. What? So what if we had a wedding ceremony? You're not going to let us even do that? Who do you think we are? Some sort of couple in poverty? But didn't you just say yourself that you didn't have any money? Neither of you currently have a job as well, so if that isn't poverty, I don't know what is. The truth was that you didn't have the money to pay for the wedding, yet you still made plans for it, right? But not having a wedding isn't benefiting of us when we're a couple who was about to find long-lasting happiness. Besides, I was counting on the money I would receive from the wedding gifts. It's not my fault. It's everyone else's fault for not coming to my wedding and giving me money. But have you even thought about why almost nobody came to your wedding? How should I know that? Tell me, why is it that no one came then? Isn't it because you loved stealing other women's boyfriends? You stole boyfriends from several of your friends, right? Not only that, but this time you stole your own sister's fiancé. It's the same with Giorgio. We had a lot of mutual acquaintances, and so most of those cut ties with him when they found out about what he did. Not only that, but apparently he told his friends that got mad at him for cheating on me that you're just jealous because I'm popular with young women while you're not, which obviously didn't help the situation. Seriously, why did I ever get engaged with an idiot like him? What made you think anyone wanted to celebrate your wedding? But everyone said that they would come in the reply to the invitation. Oh, so did they all cancel at the last moment or something? That is a bit strange, I guess, but I guess they were all just trying to bully you or something. I mean, you do have a lot of enemies, right? I guess that's none of my business, though. Just make sure to pay me that alimony, all right? It's already past the due date, so I'm going to hire a lawyer to handle this from now on. Oh, and I'm not considering lowering the amount even by a cent. I kindly ask for your cooperation. Bye then. But, Sophia! I was a bit curious as to whether the people Rosella invited and replied saying that they would come to the wedding actually planned a mass last-minute cancellation, but apparently that was actually what happened. The first set of wedding invitations came back mostly with replies that they wouldn't come. It seems that Giorgio gave up at this, but Rosella was a bit more stubborn and invited basically everyone she knew, including former classmates from elementary school. That's how some people who had a grudge against my sister in our hometown found out about her wedding. And so apparently they planned that they would all reply saying that they'd come, but cancel at the last minute. Anyways, this and that happened, and in the end, Giorgio and Rosella could no longer pay for the alimony I was asking of them. This time, they sold Rosella's brand clothes and bags and stuff, and even sold her car. Even that wasn't enough, so they had to take on a loan to somehow gather the 30,000 euros that they needed. The day after they finally paid off the alimony they owed me, the two got divorced. That didn't change the fact that they were still in debt, so now the two of them live their separate lives of poverty, working all day, every day to pay off their loans.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.